Hello everybody, Thomas Fleming here again. I'm at my new site, so I'm going to go ahead and do a video here. Normally I try to have a video ready, but we got rained on and I got washed out, so to speak. So anyhow, it's not raining today, it's nice clear sky. I think we got rain in 2 or 3 days, but I've done it before. I can do it in my tent, but they have another pavilion over here I'm looking at, so I can do it there as long as it's not too noisy. Okay. Well, let's see. What's in the news today? Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News. And a report came out that everybody except for the top executives knew nothing about it until they saw it on Twitter. Top executives are the ones dealing with the New World Order. They've just, they caved in and agreed to pay the almost $1 million ransom, if you will, to the firm that had all the voting machines in Georgia and other places that flipped. They got rid of Republicans and got Democrats in. And I don't mean Democrats, I mean socialists. They're new people. They talked about it. They covered it. These guys are investigative reporters. They had evidence. And we're not going to see it now. We're not going to see anything about the laptop. We're not going to see anything about Epstein didn't hang himself. We're not going to see anything. They're doing whatever they want to do. And there's nobody to stop them because they're playing ball with the devil. It's his team, his rules, and God's doing exactly what the people want. He's taking his hands away. Now, they have a number of different tactics. Lie, outright lie. It used to be they would kind of bend the truth, but now they just plain outright lie. They discredit people. They muddy the waters. If you come out and you say that there's a conspiracy theory out there, they come up with 20 of their own that are absurd and stupid, so that all conspiracy theories are watered down. We had the Russiagate. It was a conspiracy theory. They didn't have any real evidence. Well, it was there. The January 6th, again. No real evidence, just their stories. Again. So now we end up with, let's see, what can we do to water this down? Let's get the flat earthers out here again. We haven't heard from them for a long time. These people meet all around the world and discuss how the earth is flat. Absurd and stupid, yes. They water it down by coming up with an absurd one. We didn't really land on the moon. That was all fiction. Neil deGrasse came out and said they spent an awful lot of time and effort and money to make a fake moon landing. With all that they spent and did, they could have just as easily have gone to the moon, which of course we know they did. And you can look with a good telescope and you can find their sites. There's also a lunar exploratory satellite going around and mapping the moon. One of the largest picture files you can pull down. You can open that up and drill down and you can see the moon from whatever level you want to see it. Yeah. Muddy the waters, discredit people. They won't confront you on the facts because they'd lose. They say that you're a bad person. Don't listen to him. Trump's a bad person. Don't listen to him. They don't want him in there at all because he will fix some of the problems that they've created. He won't totally fix it. He's only got one term. And they've fixed so many of the holes that they had in the last election where they were able to do what they did. And Biden's thinking of running again. Sure. Be weekend at Biden's, Bernie's, or whatever the... I hope I don't get in trouble with this one. Mentioning all these names. Well, there's nothing we can do. Only God can stop it. And the world, as we just talked about in the last video, in spite of all the things that are coming, the world is going to dig in their heels and refuse to accept God. They'd rather accept a lie than to accept God. That is how delusional these people are. The danger that we've got here is if somebody doesn't agree with you, you need to drop it and walk away. Depending on what the topic is, obviously, but if they don't agree with you on God, Jesus, any of the stuff that we know that be the truth, if they'd rather think that we came out of the primordial soup and were related to apes, you can't do anything about it. And I found that people that believe in the post-tribulation rapture are as crazy radicals as these other crazy people that are out there. They don't want to discuss anything else. And they think that God would subject his people, his bride, to the full tribulation. No. It's pre-trib, at worst case pre-wrath, but you can't prove that to me. I believe fully in pre-trib. But I will agree to disagree with pre-wrath. But post-trib, no. Not in your court at all. He's watered down so many good things. Everything that God does, he creates an image of it similar to it. God gave us a full rainbow. Gays use a rainbow. It's only got 6 colors instead of 7, but who's counting? Satan is too good at this. Don't fight his battle on earth. This is not an earthly war. This is a spiritual war, and only God can help on that. Let's see, we had Tucker Carlson leave Fox. We had Don Lemon leave CNN. Again, someone who's not willing to toe the line when they're so blatantly lying. Susan Rice is leaving Biden's chief of staff position. You can only lie so long. Who we're going to get next, I don't know. I think Glenn Beck offered a job to Tucker over at Blaze TV. That would be okay. Those people over there are worth listening to, all of them over there. Turned out to be a nice day. It's still a little cool. This site is still a I don't want to say anything bad on here about sites, but the site that I'm in is the worst site that I ever camp in. The people here are rude. They will lie to you as well. I'm not saying anymore. I'll get my say when I sent my email with the questionnaire. This is the only site of all the campsites I camp in that I file a negative report on. I think 1 out of the last 4 times I've stayed here, I had good people here to check me in. I arrived 10 minutes early, and you'd think I'd committed an atrocity. You're early. We can't check you in. Besides, the site's not ready. Okay, enough of that. Had to get it out and tell somebody. Maybe 3 or 4 days before I get the email. Okay, but I'm here to swap out some gear. My storage unit's 5 minutes away. I did get to the market. I got a few more things to unload, but I'm gonna pack light here. I'm only here for 4 days, and then I'm going to go to another site for 2.5 days. people are starting to camp now, and so I couldn't guarantee a site over the weekend because I didn't lock it in time. That's why I've gone ahead and committed sites to the end of May now. And I'm going to try to go back to the one with the church I like to go to at the end of the month for 5 days. I wish I could stay there longer. I would love to be able to get more than 1 or 2 visits. I try to do a Bible study on Wednesday and church on Sunday, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unless I go on a Wednesday, I can't do both. And it's an hour and 20 minutes away from where I camp. I'm trying to save money, so it's hard to justify that on gas. My son's coming back here in a couple of weeks. He might need some traveling money, so check out his GoFundMe page. It's in my description. I'm still trying to save up for the larger battery and solar panels that come with it so that I can camp in sites like the one I'm going to be at in 5 days. Any place where there's no electricity, I'm 100% electricity, so I've got to have these. So check out mine. If you can't give, don't worry. I don't worry about it. God will provide, as He always has. My only requirement, if you're watching my videos, is to include this channel with means included in your prayers. I ask that as a minimum. And of course, like and subscribe, all the normal stuff. Okay, let's see. Israel is, what is it? Azari, I can't remember the name now. It's a annual day to remember those that died defending Israel, including civilians, and I think the total is like 23,000. 7 or 8 people just got injured by another car driving into people there. We have as I'm recording this, we have an active shooter in Oklahoma at Rose something college there. They're just stirring the pot, getting everybody angry. Don't do that. Don't be angry with anything they do, because that's what they want. If they can get enough people shooting each other, they can throw the Second Amendment out. That's what they're trying to do. One of the persons that did go and shoot a bunch of people said, "I'm doing this so that they will take away guns." Yeah, a little manifesto. They don't want to publicly release that, but they can't keep some of this stuff quiet. They're agitators. That's what they're doing. They get in and agitate. You think the BLM people are not agitators? Sad to say, most blacks are killed by other blacks. That's sad. I understand the frustration. I cannot answer any questions that have to do with frustration. Do you know who can? God. If you're tired of the way things are going, turn to God and then trust Him. That's all you can do. Don't get pulled into this battle. It is not a battle that we need to be in. Divide and conquer, you know. These tactics have been around forever, and they work. That's why they're still doing it. And they use the media to help divide. And if you're in the media and you don't want to play their little games, guess what? Bye. So I don't recommend watching Fox News. I think their stock's taken a major dump. I don't recommend Bud Light anymore. When I was growing up, my dad was personal friends with the head stockholder of Budweiser at the time. When he passed away, the family sold the firm, the whole company, to an out-of-the-country firm. China just bought a named hamburger company. I'm not going to give him any press. Another American company gone to overseas. The shouldn't be allowed. We may never go to war as a country. We're almost defeated internally as it is. We may never go to war. China doesn't have to attack us. We can talk tough. Privately, I'm sure our fearless leader in China have said, don't worry, I'm not going to stop you. Go ahead and take Taiwan. But they're able to defend themselves, so be careful. China hasn't attacked yet because they're not ready. They're waiting for a distraction. If there's an attack in the Israel area in the Middle East and they get a war going over there, you watch them. They're going to go after Taiwan immediately because there's enough distraction going on. The news can't figure out who they want to cover. There will be a war in the Middle East. We're told of at least, well, questionably one, for sure, Magog. I still think we need to have the Psalm 83 war. Either way, if Sudan flips, all the countries are in the right alignment. They're worried too, though, because they've done this before. That's why they're celebrating 23,000 dead, because they've defended the country. They're going to do it again. And if they do it, if they push Israel into a corner, they will nuke them, because they have them. None of the other countries have them unless they've been donated by Russia. They may have enough upgraded uranium in Iran to be able to make nukes. And you know that they're going to go into an assembly line and make as many as they can. But they're going to have to make a lot to get more than Israel has. But it's getting ready to happen. We're due to get out of here soon. I don't know when. Just stay diligent, keep smiling, don't let any of this stuff distract you. Satan's going to get the key to the city here in a little bit. He's just been allowed to wander around and look around, but he hasn't got the key yet. And your best protection, make sure you're well grounded with Jesus and with God, because that built-in connector, if you don't plug Jesus into it, Satan or any of his demons can plug into it. And you can have dreams that seem so real that you're going to tell everybody, God told me what's coming. No, God didn't. Satan did. And Satan's not real smart when it comes to the Bible, because even he was fooled by Jesus' crucifixion. He wouldn't have allowed it if he knew what was going to happen, but he doesn't know the Bible, and neither does his religious leaders. It's also why we don't know the day of the rapture. It's not to keep it from us. God would tell us anything. He doesn't want Satan to know. So that way he's ready to move us out when the time comes. That's all. That's the trigger. We've already had the Revelation 12 sign, so we're in the prophecy section. But we've got to do our bit. And I don't know if some of the people that are doing their stuff now are teaching the 144,000. Somebody's got to teach them. They got to have to be equipped. So that may be what our job is now. And is it exactly 144,000? I don't know. Most numbers in the Bible are men only. So I suspect that there will be more than that, but they will be sealed by God so that, and we look at all these things happening. Destroy the earth, destroy the plants, destroy these people, but don't touch anybody with the sign of God on them. They will be protected by some of this stuff, because they will have to survive to get to the end. There has to be people alive to go into the millennium. But it's not going to be easy. And there will be plenty of martyrs. There are martyrs now. I talked about it in my last video. The level of persecution around the world for Jews and Christians has just really gone up. Africa's been big in it for a long time. There's black Muslim countries over there, It's got nothing to do with being black. But they are. That's what they are. They're black Muslim countries. They've completely bought into this lie of Satan. And so they're killing innocent people. What kind of a God does the Muslims worship that they will kill innocent people? Not my God. In fact, my God doesn't kill anybody. The wrath of God is not really the wrath of God. He's just backing away and saying, Satan, let them have everything that they think they want, and you can do whatever you want. Just don't harm my people. So God isn't killing anybody. His tool, Satan, is, along with his newly released prisoners from the bottomless pit. How do you have a bottomless pit? I don't know. How do you have eternal life? I don't know. How long is eternity? Well, eternity is twice as long as half of it. Figure that out. The smartest minds in the world can't figure this stuff out. And now that they got these new telescopes in space, they're going, oh, we may have some problems in some of our current textbooks. They found some galaxies that are so far out. Far out, man. They're so far out that they would have had to have developed like 50 million years after the Big Bang. That's impossible. 50 million years. Galaxies are formed in billions of years, not millions. So now they don't have a reason for it. And really, we don't know how big the universe is. We can only see so far. Since the time that the Earth has been here, the light has to come from these, whether it's visible light or X-rays or whatever. It has to travel here at the speed of light. Some of it can actually go faster, but for the most part, the speed of light. We can't see past this wall of time. What's on the other side of it? We don't know. Can you believe that there's actually a wall you can get to and you can't go past? I can't. Want to give yourself a headache? Think about an infinite universe. Yeah. It's fun watching them argue about theories on Big Bang, but in real life, there's some serious stuff going on. And they're never going to figure it out. I don't know why people don't realize it. That's one of the reasons that I stopped studying it. We're not going to figure it out. God does not want us to know. We can know some limited stuff, but he doesn't want us to know how to play creation. We're kind of doing that with AI. We're playing creator. That's not going to work either. Elon Musk warns us that by the time we figure out that AI is too powerful, it'll be too late. So we got to be careful. People are leaving. Someone, I guess, is going home, but not everybody. I don't know. I watch these. I'm curious about people, so I can talk to them. I got to observe a little bit, but there's one site that's open still. I'm waiting for someone to show up, but this is middle of the week. That's why I was able to get this. I can be here Monday through Friday, but every weekend, probably the rest of the year, is full on this site. I'm looking at a beautiful lake. I don't know if I'm going to get out. It's still kind of cold. I don't want to get out on a boat yet. I'm looking forward to doing that, taking you with me out on a boat. A paddle boat or a large enough boat that I don't like canoes, the small ones, and I don't like the kind you get into. I'm claustrophobic. I got to have at least a flat bottom metal boat of some sort. Give me a little motor. I need to go back down to the Okefenokee Swamp now that I've got satellite, because there's no signal there. I can have satellite and then communicate with no problem. So I need to go back down there because it was so cold last time you couldn't see any of the alligators. And I need to go in the North Georgia mountains too, where we might, if we get lucky, see some bears. I haven't posted it yet, but there's a picture of, it was a video and I took a screenshot of it, of bears, 3 bears jumping on a trampoline, having fun. Animals have fun too. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I don't normally do a video on moving day, but I got behind. So since I can upload it immediately, there's no problem. I'm going to go ahead and finish this. Won't take long to just add subscribe to this channel bit. You guys have seen it enough, and you're already subscribed. I need to get my numbers up. So we need to try to get this, we need to share my videos on your channel. Everybody, if they were to share them on their channel, I could double my views because YouTube is not helping. I'm stuck at about 3,100. I think it's 3,175 right now. And then it will go down to 3,120 and then back up to 30. I'm stuck in this doldrum. We need to get above that. So share my videos. Pray for this channel. If you can support it, do it. I have Patreon and I have PayPal going on right now. My son has GoFundMe. If you have the opportunity to help, we appreciate it. God appreciates it. But pray, definitely, because without it, no telling what you're going to get from me. You don't want to hear from me, you want to hear from God. But we're going to all butt heads with this world. There's nothing you can do about it. We're going to lose friends. There's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can really do is just be as pleasant as you possibly can with everybody you meet, so that it's their problem, not yours, if you split and go different ways. There's nothing you can do to reach some people right now. And they're fighting. They're fighting amongst, most of these people, if they're willing to at least acknowledge God, they're fighting internally. They want to be part of the world, but they know there's something else, and they can't figure out what it is, and they keep believing the lie. They're in turmoil. Their insides are churning. And if you get in and you poke it, you might get some of the fire coming out. So that's why you got to be gentle. Let God poke them. All right. Got people moving about, but it's pretty quiet. You're not hearing anybody. They came down to their car to put air in their air mattress. That's what they were doing. If you're going to camp, I don't recommend air mattresses. They're not reliable, and they will fail you. And when they fail, you're on a hard ground. I have a cot and a foam pad. That's what you need. It's reliable. And if the cot breaks, I still got the foam pad on the ground. And the cot can be laid down flat without the legs, and it's still a cot, sort of, and you put the foam mattress on it, and you're still off the ground. But I haven't had a cot fail to the point where I couldn't use it. I've had air mattresses in the past, and at this point in time, you couldn't give me one. Unless I had like a case of them someplace. Oops, got a leak, give me a new one. All right. That's good enough. I think I've hit my limit. It's a crazy world out there. You cannot fathom what is going to happen next. It's all distraction. Just keep smiling and don't get drawn into it. That's all you can do. Till we meet in the clouds. Soon, I hope. God bless.